Hey gang, it's JC and this is your Daily Dose for Tuesday, June 15th, 2010. A cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. We're twisting by the pool here again today, and it occurred to me yesterday that we might be making broadcast history here in St. Louis. You know, I'm not familiar with any other situation like mine that has ever occurred in this town where somebody said, we're pulling the plug on your show, but you have 15 months left on your contract and we're going to pay you to do nothing for the next year and a half. We might be making history here. All right, archives up there at the top of the page. Just hit the menu bar, and of course you can now subscribe. Just hit the little icon over there for iTunes, and you can listen to the audio of the Daily Dose. And we have lots of cool things coming, including Dave Murray's weather forecasts here in a couple of days. You'll get them every day here at jc'sdailydose.com. All right, let's go to the big story. Jeff Suppan pitches tonight for your St. Louis Cardinals. I'm pitching, by the way, tonight in Shrewsbury at 6:15, so we'll see you out there. And Jeff Suppan giving area broadcasters another opportunity to mispronounce his name. This went on for years here. Suppan. For God's sakes, it's Jeff Suppan. Get it right. We just got over the whole Rick Ankiel thing. Rick Ankiel. No, it's Rick Ankiel is the pronunciation that you're supposed to be using. So now we go through the whole Suppan thing again. I don't know if Soup's got anything left. All I know is I'm still pissed about those anti-stem cell research commercials that he shipped in from Wisconsin when he didn't even live here. I'm sorry. I'm still mad about that. I moved here 26 years ago, and I remember even then they were talking about building some sort of a walkway that went over 170, no, not 170, I-70 downtown going over to the Arch grounds. And I don't know, if you live in St. Louis, you probably want to go to the Arch a lot, but if you have relatives in town, they're always going, I want to go see the Arch. Can I go to the top? And so you take them down there, and of course, anybody who tries to cross over I-70 there at Memorial Drive, you're taking your life in your hands when you do that. And they've been talking about building a walkway over the top of that for 25 years. Now, they're talking about actually tearing down I-70 through that area and having it circumvent and then turning that into a boulevard where there'd be people walking around and everything like that. It'll never happen in our lifetimes. Ratings for Larry King are down 43%. The only eyes on Larry King right now are the vultures circling over the studios of CNN. All right, when I got divorced 11 years ago, a bunch of my soon-to-be ex-wife's girlfriends also got divorces, and I thought to myself, Jesus, is this contagious or something? And it turns out it might be. A new study out of the University of California, San Diego, Harvard, and Brown says that if you have a divorced sibling, you are 22% more likely to get a divorce yourself. If you have a divorced coworker, you're 55% more likely. And if a friend of yours gets a divorce, you are 147% more likely to end up in a divorce yourselves. All right, the BP oil spill. There was a piece on CBS News last night, just heartbreaking. This little, I think it was an 11-year-old girl trying to raise money to clean up the birds and save the environment down there. And I just got thinking to myself, wasn't it just a couple of years ago that there was a big asteroid heading for Earth, and Bruce Willis and a bunch of people went into outer space and actually landed on the asteroid and blew it up and saved the world? And oh, that's right, that was a movie. But we like to think that we can do stuff like that. We can't even plug a damn leak. BP, by the way, is going to buy some of those Kevin Costner machines, their centrifuge machines, that separate oil from seawater. Now Kevin needs to make a machine that separates crappy scripts from good ones. All right, you got to be careful who your travel agent is. I have a very good one. Hi, Alita. An employee of Royal Caribbean Cruises in Miami sets up these cruises for like dozens of people, which means she knows their departure date. She also knows when they're coming back. She also knows their home addresses. And do you see where this one is going? That's right, because as soon as these people got on the boat, the travel agent went and robbed their houses. 24 families robbed. They caught her, by the way. Also, there's a new study that says you're happier planning a vacation than you are actually going on the vacation. All right, new cell phone study out of Boston says that 28% of all car accidents are caused by someone using a cell phone while driving. It's the same as being drunk, and hands-free devices don't help. But I tell you, I've come full circle on this because I used to say, you know, you can't be on the cell phone, and I still don't think you can, but as far as legislation, well, then you got to say, well, if you're changing a CD, or if you're playing with your MP3, or if you're eating a hamburger or something like that, well, all those people got to be fined too. So I don't know. The Mexican government is so pissed off about the image that they have in Mexico right now because it's killing tourism, because people are getting killed down there. So the Mexican government took 13 reporters on a tour of southwest Mexico just to show them how nice it was and how safe it was. And you guessed it, the 13 reporters were kidnapped, and get this, by machete-wielding Indians. 15 people were filming a Corona commercial down in Mexico too. They were also kidnapped. The Mexican government says, be careful. I'm not making this one up. Are you familiar with liquid cocaine? Alright, here you go. Someone is performing oral happiness on you. And at that moment, and you know the moment I'm talking about, you withdraw and you aim your release into the nostril of the giver. Liquid cocaine. You ever get the idea there's a whole bunch of stuff going on out there that we know nothing about? Let's talk about the Eagles here. The Eagles tickets are going for half price. I've talked a lot about this. They've only sold 23,000 tickets, and I've heard people say, 23,000? If that was an indoor concert, that would be considered a fabulous concert, 23,000. Yeah, but when you book an outdoor concert at a baseball stadium, you're not expecting 23,000. You want 60 or 70,000 people, so this is a huge failure. You know how empty Busch Stadium is going to look with only 23,000 people in it? And now Natalie Maines has gotten herself a buzz cut too. She looks like Sinead O'Connor. Can this story get any worse? Tom Petty releasing an album today, first one since '02. Steve Miller Band releasing their first album in 17 years. It's a bunch of blues covers. And Devo, Whip It Good, going to be on David Letterman tonight. Their first album in 20 years comes out today. All right, today is Tuesday. That means Celebrity Tuesday. Every Tuesday we sort of delve into the history of my close encounter with somebody I've actually spent some time with. And today we're going to talk about Andy Rooney from 60 Minutes. It was about 15 years ago. I was at KMOV, and they sent me to New York to do a bunch of TV interviews with the gang from 48 Hours and CBS News and Dan Rather and 60 Minutes. And I talked to Steve Croft and I talked to Andy Rooney. And I'd been a big fan of Andy. And then I saw him on David Letterman when that show was very, very new, and was one of the first guests they had. And Andy Rooney came out and he acted like a total dick, and I mean a real hostile prick. So I went into the interview with a bit of trepidation, but this guy couldn't have been nicer. By the way, he was sitting at the desk that he made. It was like a piece of wood that was all uneven on the sides and everything, but he made the damn desk and he was sitting at it. He had just converted from a typewriter to a computer. We spent a little time talking about that. And he said, you know, people always send in suggestions for his pieces on 60 Minutes, but he never uses them. And he also said that the country is getting too much into crap. And I agreed with him. He's talking about TV and just manufacturing products and the way we think and politics. And I think that he was right. Now, this was 15 years ago, and he was frail then. I can't believe the guy is still walking upright and still going into work every day and getting himself shaved and dressed. And I have tremendous admiration for anybody who does that. The guy is still alive, he's still working, and the energy on that floor at 60 Minutes was absolutely contagious. I saw Don Hewitt, the executive producer, and Morley Safer and Mike Wallace, and everybody was running around. And again, this was 15 years ago. These guys were old then, and some of them are still kicking now, including Andy Rooney, and that is your Celebrity Tuesday for today. All right, JC's Video Village today, Corbin Burnson from LA Law and Priscilla Presley. The Wayback Machine, a TV commercial from way back in 1988 with Frank Opinion, are not necessarily the news today. And this week is Albert and Jose as in your Cardinals. JC's Eye Candy today, hilarious bit. Ellen DeGeneres raids the 5 o'clock news on the Chicago NBC affiliate. You'll have to see it. Watch it at least until about the 2:45 mark. That's when it picks up. Tomorrow, the most popular on-demand movie of all time, and also fun facts. In the meantime, that's your Daily Dose for Tuesday, June 15th, 2010, a cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.